Saturday, August 24th, I'm at the West End Gun Club. Took the day off from work, I'm capped on vacation hours, so I decided to come out to the range and do a few things. Not much, really. Came to reconfirm the zero on my bolt gun because I moved the scope forward a little bit in the rings. And I'm gonna shoot the AR a little before I get out of here, simply because I didn't clean the gun, my AR, since Saturday when I shot at that NRA ARM match, or the AR match. So I may as well dirty up a little bit more before I clean it today. I noticed that the ARM this past Saturday, I was a little bit rusty with the AR. Haven't been shooting the AR much, like I said in the previous vlog, so I just need to come out and get a little bit more repetitions going as far as just shooting, just, you know, the close quarters type deal. All my shooting has been, you know, off prone or in the bench, just bench rest as far as testing, and prone as far as the 600 mid-range and the 1000 long-range matches at Pendleton. So since all my time's been sucked up by that Remington 700 project, I just haven't had the motivation to shoot the AR. So it's nice to come out and just shoot some basic drills just to get myself reacquainted with the mechanics of whatnot of just using the AR as far as a defensive gun. So I set up this steel target back here in this little gully. This range, the bay I'm using is actually kind of short. It's only, I would say 20 yards, 25 yards at most. And this is actually really danger close as far as steel is concerned with a rifle. But right now it's kind of below my waistline as far as angle shot, or the line of sight, and then the target's angled down. So I'm mitigating most of the splatter that may occur in the ricochet. So I don't know. Ideally with a steel target, you want to be with rifle 100 yards is like ideal at least, but then, you know, for carbine and whatnot, people will shoot as close as 50 and then they'll walk it in, but it gets really sketchy below 50 yards, I think. So you just got to take it as it is and be as safe as possible and try to obviously wear eye protection at all times. As far as drills, I don't really have a set type of thing that I do, although what I do like to do when I first start out is basically from a low ready position or whatnot, off a timer, do like single shots on an IPSC target just to get warmed up, and then I'd start doing like double taps and then 2-in-1s for like 3-shot engagements and whatnot, and I'll switch on to like to multiple target engagements. But mainly this exercise is just to get me as far as reacquainted with the AR, reinforcing my fundamentals as far as sight picture, sight alignment, trigger control, and trying to work all those together at once in a dynamic environment as far as shooting as fast as possible, yet still hitting the target with relative accuracy for like a defensive situation. I mean, here's like the general IPSC target that I'm shooting at. You shoot it at close range, so you're only shooting at 15 yards, which is pretty easy to hit with the AR. Even with a red dot and moving fast, you're not going to miss. So it's really easy to do that. But again, the whole idea is to shoot as fast as possible until you start missing. And frankly, I don't really push myself that much. I really need to start shooting faster and faster, trying to increase my speeds, because I don't really do that. I'm really comfortable as far as my shooting. I try to just shoot accurately when I should start really pushing it until I'm no longer accurate, so that I get my speeds up, and then I can try to hone that speed to be accurate. Earlier I mentioned that you need to be careful in shooting at steel at close range with a rifle, because the velocity of the rifle cartridge or that bullet is moving so fast, and when it impacts that steel at close range, you risk getting splatter or splashback. And here's an example of that. What kind of splatter you'll see is, if you notice, I have this IPSC target right next to the steel target, and I was shooting that steel earlier, and if you notice here, the tear on the paper from the jackets, and this is right here, that's a pretty significant tear as far as the jacket shearing off the steel, and then or off the core when it impacts the steel and it hitting the cardboard. So that would definitely if that were coming back at you and it hit you, that would definitely at least break skin, and if it hit your eye, that would really be pretty bad. So that's one example of why you need to be careful when shooting steel at close range. Always wear eye protection. One item of note I wanted to bring up is the fact that this range, the West End Gun Club, was shut down yet last week from Tuesday through Sunday because the Blue Cut fire. The Blue Cut fire took place at Lido Creek, which West End Gun Club is technically just east of and south of, like just barely on the edge of. This isn't considered Lido Creek. Lido Creek is to the west of us. But if you see the hillside behind me, that's technically where the fire was at, just beyond the entire hill. So this whole little canyon or whatever around us is where the fire was at. So they have photos of the main range, and then as far as the smoke pluming over the hillside. So we were fortunate that the fire did not race through here. There was a fire here back in 05, 06, I think. Granted, the range was still usable, but like all the overhead type stuff that they built, all that in the Connex boxes that you'll see, like these Connex boxes and these overhangs, those all got burned in that fire. So fortunately for us, we avoided that. Good job on the firefighters. They did great work to mitigate as much of that fire damage as possible. So yeah, the West End Gun Club, it reopened this Monday, so 2 days ago. So fortunately, everything's all good out here. So I wanted to shoot a little bit off the urban prone positioner, which is shooting off your side. Basically, you have your gun sideways. And generally, the reason why I wanted to do this is because at the ARM on Saturday, I had to engage a steel target at 75 yards, and I was missing it to the right. But I was holding where I thought I should be holding for that yardage or that distance, and I was still missing far right. So when you're in the urban prone position and you have the gun sideways, you have to remember sight over bore. So when the bore is here, the sight's here, generally you're going to be hitting to the left, or like if you're planted right, or your rifle's to the right as far as cant. So I was aiming center here just to see where my sight over bore was hitting, and it's grouping a little bit to the left, not too much to the left. And at 75 yards, I think I was engaging the very edge of the steel, and I think maybe I was just holding a bit too far off the steel, and I was hitting high or far right. So I don't know what was going on Saturday. Anyway, I'm just trying to work out my urban prone position just to make sure that I have my sight over bore sight picture in my head as far as being able to properly correct for this position. So on that last stinger fire, shooting from urban prone, I went ahead and made my correction to shoot on the right side of the A zone. So we'll see where that hits. I'm pretty sure it's gonna drift towards center. So as you can see here, I was aiming for this spot of the A zone, and all the shots tended to drift towards the center of the A. So that's about where aiming here is about the right spot. So I don't know what was going on Saturday. I guess I just had bad sight picture. I was just holding over incorrectly, and that's why I missed the steel target at 75 from an urban prone position. Also take into account though, if you're an urban prone and you can't one way or the other, not only you have to count for side over bore, you still have to count for your bullet drop. So theoretically, to hit the center of the A, you would want to aim right around a little bit higher and to the right, so above this spot, because side over bore will bring your rounds left, and then gravity will bring your rounds down. Of course, this is all based on your zero too as well, and the distance that you're shooting. I got all my gear packed up and I'm ready to get out of here. I've been here for about 5 hours now. Didn't put many rounds down range, but a lot of my time was spent socializing on the 100-yard line. There was a range master. He was just here to do his own shooting, and one of his friends, and we got to talking. So usually that's how it goes when you go to a range and there's like a lot of people, end up seeing people you know and just socializing. So got my rounds down range. Today it was a nice relaxing morning. The weather's great. The wind was pretty much dead up until now. Even now it's only, I would say, about 5 to 6 miles an hour at most. The wind should pick up though come around 2 o'clock. So gonna get out of here. Hopefully stop by Slater's 50/50. If you don't know that place, they're in Rancho. There's one in Rancho rather, Rancho Cucamonga. It's a good burger joint, and they have really good beer. They have a lot of taps there. I think they said they have 100 taps at their Rancho Cucamonga location. But I'm gonna get me a burger, give me some lunch because I didn't eat breakfast this morning. And also on my way back, when I get home, there should be a package waiting for me. I have a SIG Kilo 2000 laser rangefinder that I bought from Brownells. So we'll see how that goes. I found a place where I can test that repeatedly. I don't have a laser rangefinder, so I don't know. I don't have another rangefinder by which I could compare the SIG Kilo to. What I'm going to do is find a location, or go to a location multiple times per day and range a bunch of different buildings or objects in the distance that are fixed, and therefore I can do at least for that particular unit, I can do testing different times of day, different lighting conditions, and see how well it performs as far as consistency is concerned. So as long as it's consistent, then we know I can get a decent test. It's either consistently good or consistently wrong. So we'll see how that goes. Again, I don't have a laser rangefinder. It's actually my first laser rangefinder. I never had a reason to buy one. And to be honest, I don't really have a reason to buy one now, but I kind of wanted to have one because it's nice to have, as far as if you have an unknown distance, it's nice to know what the distances you're shooting at. Like here, if we use this 500 or the 600-yard line on Tuesdays in the mornings, there's a lot of spots you can set targets at, but you don't know what the distances are. So it'd be nice to have a laser rangefinder to gauge the distance, so you can set up your targets or your steel or whatnot, and know what your distance is going to be for that particular target. So anyway, that's it for the range vlog today. It's a very quiet vlog, but that's pretty much it. August 24th, Wednesday. Until then, see you on the next vlog.